Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the movement. Thank you all so much for coming. You could have gone anywhere else, but we're so glad you decided to stop here on tonight at 7 p.m. for Can We Talk? And we have a discussion for you tonight. We are the movement, a motivational organization here to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. We are a move meant to move. We want to help you thrust into your purpose so that you can start living your best life and win. We've tapped into a winning formula and we want to share, share because we want to see you win. Right, Annette?
Yes, I'm gonna piggyback on what Anita said. We want you to win. Every Wednesday, we're giving you creative ideas, techniques to help you get to the next level so you can win. So tonight, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, and look forward to sharing what God has given us on tonight.
All righty. So tonight we have a very interesting topic.
Yes, Lord.
You know, sometimes some of these topics can sound a little controversial. Like, what? What is this tonight? Oh, this won't be too good. Well, I want to start off talking about one of my favorite movies. I used to love this. I still love this movie. When it comes on, I watch it. And it's Malcolm X starring Denzel Washington. I remember when it first came out, a lot of people didn't like it. People complained about it because they said it was so long. And I happened to love it, not only for the history, but because Denzel actually played that part so well, it was so believable. I was drawn in by his ability to just become Malcolm X. He really embodied the character. So, but there are a few scenes that stick out to me. One is, of course, everyone loves when he does, we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, led astray. We done land on Plymouth Rock landed on us. So everybody loves that part. But there's one scene that I want to talk about in particular, and that is at the very end of the movie, well, not the very end, towards the end of the movie, he starts finding out that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had impregnated so many different young women and some multiple times throughout the Nation of Islam. And he was so heartbroken that he was like everything that he had built his life on, everything that he had been preaching all over the country, building the nation, everything that he had been speaking on television shows and everything that he believed and he based his entire life on, he found out was a lie. And this has happened to many of us today. I've heard so many stories about this from people, you know, and I've seen many documentaries and stories of children who've grown up and learned the truth about their existence. You know, and sometimes it can be devastating, especially when you've told them something different.
Mm-hmm.
I've often wondered, you know, I'm not privy to it, but I've known many people who were adopted, but they knew they were adopted, you know, from a young age. I've known people who grew up with thinking a certain God was their father and find out, you know, the parents actually tell them. And I don't think it, you know, I'm sure they were affected because I've talked to many people who say they were still affected even though they were told as a teenager. But in the back of their mind, you know how you always, every child feels different. Oh, I'm adopted. Oh, I feel like nobody loves me. Oh, I feel like, you know, everybody has those feelings. So,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, there are some people that we go through these situations. We have these horror stories. We have these situations that we've been in. And then come to find out at the end of it, even like with the marriage, you've been married 30 years and you find out your husband's been cheating 29 of them. So that's a devastating blow. Yeah. So just like, you know, in the movie Malcolm X, when Denzel was enacting the part where Malcolm found out that everything that he had based his life on was a lie, he was very hurt. And the person who had taught him or told him these things was a hypocrite. And so a lot of us can relate to this. You know, you may not have had the exact situation. You may not have had the exact experience that of some of the ones that I'm mentioning, but I'm sure that all of you on here have at some point in your life experienced something that literally devastated you. It took you by surprise. You didn't expect it. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness. You mean the whole time that I was thinking this, it was that? The whole time that you were telling me this, it was that? So if you can relate to that, I just want you to type in "been there," because a lot of us have been right there. We've been there where we feel betrayed. That's the ultimate betrayal. When someone tells you or pretends to be something that they're not, they lead you in a direction that is completely false of what, they taught you. And a lot of us have been there. We've been there. We've been down that road of being betrayed. We've been down the road of being lied to. We've been down the road of being misled. We've been down the road of like Malcolm said, hoodwink and bamboozle.
Yeah.
On a mug, led astray. We've been there. So now tonight, we're dealing with Zorenzo. Hi, Zorenzo. I just saw that. But yes, I've considered that life at this point. Well, there are a lot of people who disappoint us, but we want to give you some encouraging conversation tonight about this. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen and pull open our presentation for tonight. Y'all excuse us. I got so much stuff open on my computer, and all of the stuff I usually have closed. But I'm going to go ahead and go into our discussion. And our discussion tonight, we sent you guys our topic. Our discussion tonight is something that we've all dealt with. This is that road that we've all been down. Hypocrisy, lies, and deception. We have all experienced it. We have all experienced it. But and I want to take a look at some of this stuff, because when we look at some of the words that are around deception, hoax, misleading, counterfeit, concocted, falsified, swindle, unreal, liar, substitute, false, fake, disguise, there's a whole lot of stuff that we can uncover. Somebody coming to you as a person who's your friend, and it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Somebody coming to you as though they have your back, and they're the ones that's talking about you. They're coming to you to bring you the bone or to bring you the dart that's on you. Well, let me tell you what they said. And the whole time you're talking to them, there's 3 darts that are in your back, because they're reaching around your back with 3 darts, because they're the ones that are shooting the fiery darts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what this takes us to a place that we feel ultimately betrayed, and we've all been there. So let's just talk about it a little bit. Because what it does is that it causes the very foundation that you live in, it causes a crack in the foundation of who you are. When you've put your faith in something and it's been damaged, it's been bruised, it's been cracked, because you're dealing with these words. I want to deal with the words first, because I want to kind of break them down a little bit. Hypocrisy. Now, I want to look at these 3 words in the topic, because they're very, very interesting. The word hypocrisy is feigning to be what you're not. A person who's feigning to be something that they're not. That means that you have set out an ultimate desire to become something that you're not. You're pretending to be one thing, but you have a desire or a feigning to be something else, which means that something else that comes out to other people later is really who you are. It's really what's behind the mask, because you're pretending to be one thing, but you're not. You are what's behind that mask. If you look at the bottom picture on the page there, you see the guy shaking the other guy's hand, but he has an axe behind his back. That's hypocrisy. That's a hypocrite. And oftentimes we've been in this situation. Keisha, I made it late, but I'm not out. Yes, Keisha, we're talking about hypocrisy, lies, and deception tonight. So a lot of times we will end up in situations like this. But one thing I want you to understand, sometimes, and I know you probably have been there, and I need y'all to respond if you've been here before. You are dealing with somebody in business, or someone who pretends to have your back in your career, and You're literally right there with that person, shaking the hand, and you know there is something inside you, that some little clue that tells you this person really doesn't have your back. And you know they don't have your back, but yet and still you stay in the situation. Can anybody relate to that?
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I've been there where I thought somebody had me. Like really, like, okay, we cool. But there's something somewhere, some small clue that you have, and it could be the shadow of that big old axe, but you have a clue somewhere, some vision or something they said, something they did that kind of rubbed you the wrong way. And you knew from then, I really got to watch this person.
Yeah.
And I know people have this saying, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. I don't like that.
I don't either.
I don't want my enemy to be in my inner space.
That's right.
When I know you my enemy, you got to get the ham and eggs out of Dodge. I don't want you in my space, because when you're close to me and you're getting into my personal space where it's intimate, when you're getting past that outer space, you're in the place where you can start causing some damage in some things in my life. And perhaps sometimes you've been in situations where you know that person didn't have your back in the first place. And then when they cross you, the only thing you say, well, I did kind of know. But yet and still you stayed. You kept them there because in your mind, you did what the world will say, oh, keep my friends close, keep my enemies closer. No. There are some sayings that's just not meant for us. Some sayings that are just not meant for people, especially if you're a Christian. Some sayings are just not meant for us. So leave some of that stuff right where it is. And you need to think about what you're saying. Why would you want the enemy so close to you that they can cause damage, that they can wreak havoc, that they can start division, and that they can start lies and rumors and all kinds of things? Why would you want an enemy that close to you, close to your destiny, that close to your purpose, that close to your gift? You don't need an enemy close to you. Mm-hmm. You need the enemy to leave you. The Bible says resist the devil and he will flee from you. Yeah. Resist the enemy. I don't want the enemy close to me. No. You can take your hypocritical self on away from me, because it does not work here. The other thing I want to deal with is lies, because I want you to look at something. I'm going to tell you when I share the third word and break it down a little bit. A lie is the act of making up something for the intent of misleading. Now, the word hypocrisy is a noun. That's a person, place, a thing. But lies is a verb. And y'all know I'm going there. And it's an intransitive verb. There is no transitive state for this verb. You know why? Oh. And those of you who frequent Can We Talk, you would understand that with me, I'm going into the etymology and the English. I go all into the English language because I want to understand everything. And when I'm discussing something, I like to break it down. They used to call me the science fiction preacher in the pulpit. And oh, you're the science fiction preacher. So, and that's, you should have been a teacher. I get it, but I just like to break stuff down. I do word study. Lies, that word is an intransitive verb. A transitive verb, it means that that word sets a tone that whatever is in between you and what's on the other side of that mountain, between you and the mountain. Like for instance, when he says in Deuteronomy 1:6, you have dwelt here long enough and I have set the land before you. He said, turn and go because I have set the land before you. The word dwelt and set were the same word from the etymology. Dwelt meant set as in set and submit, but it was intransitive, meaning it wasn't going anywhere. It was connected, but it had no motion. It wasn't automatically connected to what's on the other side because it's set as in submit. But the word, that was the word dwelt. But on the other side, he said, turn and go. The word set means that you're automatically connected to what's on the other side. So what's in between you and it doesn't matter. We often say, oh, I can speak to the mountain and command it to move. You can if you're walking in a transitive state. But this word lies is intransitive. It means that it is in submit. It ain't going nowhere. It's a lie. So it's done with the intent of misleading because it has no value. It does not produce. Then when you look at deception, which is another noun, which is the act of causing someone to believe something that is invalid, you have deliberately taken your mask-wearing self, the picture in the middle with the nose, and you have caused them, you have, what you've done is you had the intent of misleading, so you told a lie, and you got them thinking they're going somewhere, but you're holding the strings. So they're not going anywhere. So when the person is dealing with hypocrisy, lies, and deception, there is no productivity, because the only thing that can happen from there is brokenness. That's when you forcibly separate in two or more pieces.
All
when
right.
you are broken, you're forcibly separated in two or more pieces. So when Malcolm X was hurt by what happened, that everything he believed was a lie. When you were hurt, whatever you said, when you said you've been there, when you were hurt by what you put faith in, what you put stock in, the friendship that you put stock in, the relationship you put stock in, the marriage, the job, the ministry, whatever it was, when you put faith in that, and faith in the pastors, and faith in the people, and faith in everything else, you were dealing with hypocrisy, lies, and deception, and therefore you were forcibly separated. That's why when we talk about a broken heart, you were forcibly separated in two or more pieces, depending on how hard the blow was.
Wow.
Now that's some serious stuff for you.
That's serious, yeah.
And this is where a lot of people have dealt with this, or have had this happen in their lives, but have never dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
So as I say, my brain just grew 2 full sizes. That's cute. So now I want you to understand something, that we're going to walk through this thing a little bit with you, and that's going to come to you, and she's going to break it down a little more for you. But I got something really good for you at the end. So stay with us.
Yes. Liar, liar, pants on fire. When we were growing up, we used to say that all the time. That was just a chant. Growing up, we used that chant. But when I was really looking at it, it's more to that. It's liar, liar, pants on fire, hang them up on the telephone wire.
Uh-oh.
And this was written in 1810 by William Blake. But a few years later, there's a rebuttal to that. And there's a reply to the same, say, liar, liar, pants on fire. I don't care. I can buy me another pair. So, yeah. So in other words, we're saying, I don't care how much you lie. I can go and buy another pair. I can keep it going. I can keep the lie going. Okay. So that's what that means, saying, I know lie, pants on fire, hang them up on the telephone wire, but they go on and say, you know what? Don't matter. You can do what you want to do with your lies, but I got my own lies. And that's where we come into the snowball effect. Okay. When you begin to tell a lie, and what happens is it'll start small, and the more that lie gets circled around, the bigger it gets. I can remember watching Bugs Bunny and all them, and how they would be on the mountain with this snow, and as they roll down, they would get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's what the snowball effect is. There's a game that's called Chinese Whisper. We do it, but I've never known the name to it, but it's called Chinese Whisper. And what it is that I will start off with something I whisper in your ear. We would put a circle, maybe 5, 6, 7 people, and each person will whisper in the other person's ear. By the time I get back to the original person, it's changed.
It's a different story.
So it creates a snowball effect. Mm-hmm. And that's what lies do. When you tell a lie, and because, there are times people literally make up stuff, and depending on who tells the lie, the other person will believe it. Because I know so-and-so wouldn't lie to me. So, okay, then it goes to that person. And that person said, don't tell nobody. And then you tell, after a while, it snowball. And the ball gets so big to that person can never unravel that ball because it keeps growing and growing and growing. And what happens is it can cause a significant problem. It can cause heartache. You know, it can cause a situation that you don't think you can recover from. I've known people to tell lies, and I know it's a lie, but I don't know how to fix it. So when the snowball effect happens, a lot of times you can't fix that lie. And so you have to be careful of what you say out of your mouth. Even if you know it's the truth. And a lot of times we know a part of the truth, but a part of the truth, if you don't have the real truth, is still a lie. So we cause people heartache. There's so many people struggling now about things that were said about them that is not true.
Or even things that were repeated.
Yeah, but see, what happens when you repeat is still a snowball effect because we have a tendency to add
to it, yeah.
Or we'll do stuff like, so you may say, oh, I like that dress she got. Child, yeah, she said that she liked that dress, but girl, you should have saw her, child, you know.
You should have seen the way she looked at you. Yeah. And then the next person say, "What girl? She was talking about her dress."
Yeah,
it adds on.
The next person say, "Girl, yeah, she was talking about dress, and she talked about that dress you had on last week." You know what I'm saying? So it keeps snowballing and snowballing, and it causes issues in our marriages, in our businesses, and in our everyday walk. And the things we say to people right now that will never recover from stuff that was said about them. That snowball effect. But also we want to know the truth about lying. There's some truth about lying. When someone you know lied to you, it creates a feeling of confusion and betrayal and sadness. These feelings can change to be gut-wrenching sadness. It hurts you to the very core of your being. It can stop you in your tracks, hinder you from your life goals, and make you literally sick. The truth about lies is we lie for various reasons, but it's still a lie. We lie to save face. You know, we lie. It sounds good. You know, we didn't make it to the baby shower and say, girl, I would have been there, but child, I didn't get your invitation. Yes, you did.
No, you weren't going in the first.
No, you're lying. But you're lying. That's the truth about lying. We lie to save face.
That's true.
We lie to shift blame. It was my boss' decision, not mine. My husband never told me you called. So now what we've done, we've taken that lie and shifted on our husband.
Wow.
So the truth about lying, we shift the blame. We lie to avoid confrontation. We don't want to be confrontational, so we'll make up a lie so we don't have to deal with a situation because we know if we tell the truth, there's going to be an argument, there's going to be a fight. So that's the truth about lying. We make up lies to avoid confrontation. Then we lie to be nice. We lie to be nice. Now, you know that baby ugly. You know that baby ugly. But you know what I'm saying? We're not going to say, ooh, child, that ugly baby.
No.
So what we'll do sometimes, we'll avoid confrontation. We'll say, that's such a cute outfit that baby have on.
Oh, he's so precious.
Yeah, look at him. He look just like his daddy, you know. So we lie because we want to be nice. So that's the truth about lying. We lie. We really don't want to lie a lot of times, but we lie because it's better than the truth.
It's better than the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. That's in our mindset. It's not. It's better. Well, we don't want to hurt people. Feelings, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell you baby ugly. So what I do, I've just come up with alternative. If that dress you got on ugly, I just won't say nothing about it. Now the thing I don't like about people, don't ask me if you don't want to hear the truth. I had somebody ask me a question one time what I thought, and I told them, and they kind of stopped speaking to me. But you asked me. So sometimes, Anita, the truth about lying is sometimes we want to hear the lie. We really don't want to hear the truth because the lie seems better. You know, so, you know, when you ask somebody sometime, yeah, girl, yeah, that dress, ooh, like, girl, that thing's so flat. You get down right around the corner, child, she know her behind too fat for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Girl, So that's the truth about lying.
Mm-hmm.
There are various reasons we lie. I'm not saying it's right, but it's the truth. And everybody on here at some point have told a lie.
Amen.
You've told a lie. You've told a lie to not hurt people's feelings. It's like somebody want to borrow money. Girl, I need 20. Child, I ain't got no money. Yeah, you do. I got some money. I just don't want to give you none. You know. So what we do, we just come up with something else. I'll say I do have the money, but it's for something else. Most of the time, that's not a lie, because I always got something else I can do with my money. So when you say that, you're really not lying. But when you say I don't have no money, you see what I'm saying? And we do it without thinking. We do it without thinking. That's the truth about lying. We lie all the time, and it's just the truth of it. And we never
people may lie when they really owe you money or supposed to pay you or want you to do something and claim they don't have money. I deal with that all the time in my business.
Yeah.
Like I get the, it's, times is so hard, and you driving a Benz. Like, really?
Yeah. And then you have, on the flip side, you have those who get mad and stop speaking to you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Because they owe you. So the truth about lying is that we lie. That's the truth. The truth is that we tell lies, but that's just the truth. But the thing is, once you become conscious of that,
mm-hmm.
Because you want to be a person of integrity, especially for those of us on here who have visions and businesses and mission or whatever you been called to do. We want to become people of integrity, and so we have to be aware of that. Because when I was preparing this, I started thinking, like, good God Almighty, wonder how many times I lie in a day. Mm-hmm. Without even thinking about it, because it becomes natural. Even a little baby will tell a lie. You ask them, so I don't know, is it learned behavior or is we born like that? Because if you can ask a little baby and a baby will lie, sometimes you take no idea. No, you did, I just saw you. So the truth about lying is that we lie. That's just the truth, y'all. I'm just here to tell you. So, but not only that, lies come in different colors. That blew me away. I know, everybody know about the little white lie. We all, little white lie is defined as a harmless or trivial untruth. It's just a harmless little thing, We just tell a little white lie. We just, oh, well, I like your hair. Just a little white lie. I want to tell her that because I want to make her feel good. I want her to feel, she's been really down in the dumps lately. So I want to make her feel good. I like, oh, you look good, girl. Look at your hair, child. So you're trying to get her motivated, but that's a white lie. Then there's gray lies. Gray lies are untrue that we might tell to help a friend or help ourselves out of trouble. Like if you get stopped about a police officer, you're speeding. You're speeding. Doggone well you're supposed to be going 55 miles an hour, but you're going 80. So the police stop you. And they say, why was you going so fast? Well, I was late for work, officer. I didn't know. So you didn't know. I didn't even realize. Why did you say was I going that fast? I didn't know. Yeah, you did. You knew. Because I know one time I did get stopped a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't going fast. When he stopped me, I straight up said, listen, I know I wasn't speeding. He said, no, your light, one of my brake lights. I said, oh. He said, you trying to go to work? I said, yes, sir. Listen, even if I wasn't going to try to go to work, I'd probably say, yeah, I'm trying to go to work. Because immediately, here, somebody behind me with these lights going, immediately, we condition in this country, like police stop you, am I going to get shot down? I mean, that ain't always the case. So immediately you trying to, my brain working overtime. Okay, what I'm going to say, what I did. So, so lies come in colors. A black lie is something considered the worst kind of lie. It is defined as callous and selfish, and it's, deliberate misrepresentation of facts in order to deceive. That's a black lie. When you just straight up tell a lie to misrepresent what you're trying to say. And I was trying to think of something, when we just tell, I couldn't think of nothing. I know somewhere in my life I probably done told some black lies. I told all these color lies. I know that. But I was thinking, when I
every color.
Yeah, I tried to it's misrepresenting who you are, misrepresenting a situation, misrepresenting you're going out of your way to come up with something to fool somebody. And Nita alluded to it earlier. You know, you're trying to be something you're not. You know, you're trying to puff yourself up. You know, you want to walk in like, you know, you miss thing, and you know, you don't even have a place to live. And I don't have a problem with it. And I know people go through, but I'm talking about people who pretend and put on airs, and you know, like I remember my mom. One of the things when we were growing up, we used to laugh at. I used to laugh at all the time behind her back, of course. So whenever we would get around certain people of color, all of a sudden she like, yes, because I went down to the like,
proper talk.
Looking like, wait a minute, you were just cussing me out a few minutes ago, you know. So if you putting on airs and pretending like you're something that you're not, and she would do it all the time.
You know, my dad did that. I often hear my sisters tell the story about my dad when he used to clean churches. He had a church cleaning business, and somebody broke into one of the churches, and he went in there cussing and fussing. He was just cussing because they had trashed the church. And so when the priest came in, he said, "Frank, we had a break-in." He said, "Yes." And the first thing I said when I saw it was, "Oh, Lordy, have mercy. Someone has broken into God's house." and they all started laughing like, that is not what you said.
No, that's not. That's not. And that's how my mother was. You know, it was just funny to me because, again, we put it on airs and we pretending to be something we're not.
Yes, Stacey, like a con artist.
Yeah, yeah. And even when we're in certain environments, granted now, if you're in a certain environment, you don't want to be super duper ghetto. No, I'm not talking about that, you know, but I'm just saying when you just totally change who you are, totally, you know, and you start, yes. And people who do that a lot of times, they tear the English language because.
Tear it up like Medea. Hello.
Yeah, saying, you know, you can't pronounce that word. Stop it. I used to be looking at my mom. But, you know, I mean, and also now it's a red lie is a lie of revenge. These lies are driven by motive to harm others. And so there are people who will go out of their way to harm people or to get people back. Or there are people who don't like you just because you are you. And I often say when you don't like people, if you don't like people you don't really know, often I think is that it's not them, it's the anointing that's on their life. Because if you don't know me, how you not gonna like me? So there are people who are just mean and vicious and nasty. I see so much of that in politics. I see so much of that in politics. In politics, you have all these colors too. Because when you can call people name and be vicious and make up lies and deceit, and you know, I'm not just even talking about the president. We know he the chief liar. But I'm talking about even some of the other people in politics that they tell the lies, and even in our personal life, even in business practices. I never forget one time somebody had asked me to, my name came some kind of way, somebody knew me and knew I was a preacher, and they asked about me. It was somebody related through marriage, my other marriage, and they told the lady, "Oh no, you don't want her. Oh, what if you could get this other lady? You don't want her." And the lady came back and told me, right?
Wow.
Well, the one she wanted to preach, she couldn't. How about the same lady when they did ask me to, I ended up preaching. She asked me to give her a ride. I was like, wait a minute, I gave her a ride. The whole sermon, she sit there crying. So you know, sometimes when you dig in a ditch or you being nasty, sometimes you know you never know your blessing may come through that person that you're trying to go out of your way to hurt. You know, so we have the red lies. Then also we had a lie detector on the polygraph. When I was looking at that, I was thinking about, you know, that polygraph machine is to detect, and record changes and your characteristics, things you say. It tests your pulse and your breathing rate. And what happens when you start telling lies, there's a change in your body. You know, you start sweating more. You don't know the right words to say. And so they do that with the polygraph, and there's at least 10 questions that they ask. And 4 of those questions are relevant questions. Like, you know, is your name Anita? Anita, are you over 50? Anita, are you 30? So those are questions they begin to ask, and they ask those questions just to get a response to see how, you know, you're gonna react. And it's amazing that they just ask 10 questions, but they're just everyday questions. they're everyday, but they look at your emotions, and they check your mindset, and they ask the questions, the relevant questions, and the control questions. Say, Anita, I'm gonna ask you a control question. Do you sell drugs? So
No.
immediately, if you sell drugs, if it was true, then there would be a certain response.
Right.
And so, and so a relevant question. They said, is your name Annette Anderson? Well, they're going to get a response, because if you say yes, well, okay, there's going to be a change in the machine. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to fluctuate. And so when we tell lies, what it does, it causes problems, not only in our life, but other people's lives. It's like, up and down, you up and down, you don't know which way to go. So you have to be careful when you tell lies, because people can detect you. I'm not an expert, but there are certain people who lie. I just know they lying. They be looking like, now you tell them, it's okay. You pull up and you got the raggedest car in this side of heaven. You gonna tell me you live over in the gated community? All right, then. You live in a mansion. So certain things people say, you can detect. And so lie, pants on fire. We have to get to the point where we can detect, and we know when people lie. You won't always know, but there are times with the relevant question and the control question. So I would suggest to you, when you're talking to people, when I talk, I listen. When Anita, not that I'm trying to say you lie, Anita. Okay, I'm just using you. When you're doing the transitive and intransitive, now what had happened, because I've listened, I can detect when I look at certain words, because you've taught on it so much. I say that's a transitive. Oh yeah, that's an intransitive. It's the same thing with detecting lie. After a while, after you've been around a person a long enough, we all got them lying family members.
Yeah, you can tell when they start stuttering or looking up in the
we got them lying friends. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we have that. So we're able to detect that. And so even in business, you don't know who you're going to encounter. You don't know who you're going to encounter. So, those are the things that you can say, okay, I've dealt with him before. She's not to be trusted. I've dealt with her before. She's messy. We have messy friends. There are certain people in my life, I love them dearly. But I know they're messy. Mm-hmm. I have a friend, I know she's messy, but she's my friend. But I know, because I know the situation, I know how to handle that. I'm able to I know it's lie, pants on fire and all that, but I know how to handle that. So just know, snowball, the truth about lying. Lies come in all kind of colors, y'all, and lie detect. And next we have Anita. Detection of deception. The land of is. When I was studying this, Anita, it took me back to President Bill Clinton in August 17th in 1998, when there was a question asked to him about Monica Lewinsky. And it was there is absolutely no sex of any kind in any manner, shape, or form, which I have, as the president did with Monica Lewinsky.
Not have sexual.
There is absolutely no sex, none. And so they asked him the question. This is what his response was. It depends upon what the meaning of the word is. If is mean is and never has been, that one thing. If it means there is none, that was completely a true statement. So in other words, our president was telling a lie. So usually there's yes or no to questions, yes or no. When people cannot come up with a yes or no question, they will happen. Well, this is what happened was, and this is what happened. But the land of is occupies the space between truth and deception. The land of is consists of half truth.
Wow.
Assumptions, innuendos, verbal lies. Most people want to tell the truth, so they go to great length to come up with English language to change to alter the truth. And so what the president did, he played with the word is. So many times in the land of is, we tell lies because we're saying, well, is really is, or is was. And so what happens, we try to deceive with language, but we're still liars. We're still being deceptive.
Stacy said the word games always precede the lie.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll ask a question, where are you just coming from? Well, you see, I had went down to the corner and then I went around and so we come up with then and what if and I did and that. We don't really get to the truth. By the time you get to what I asked you, well, it's the land of the is.
Because I had this one. Well, I didn't tell a lie.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah. And so we're trying
to tell me the truth.
We're trying to deceive. We're trying to be deceptive. And so we have to learn how to, when we see the land of the is, we got to be able to detect what even our president said, our former president, well, what is, what it was, even though I did what they said. So the land is occupies between truth and deception. We're lying, but we're trying to figure out how to take that lie and spin it to the truth. Mm-hmm. So that's the land of is. And also, well, if you ask someone a direct question, it should be, and the response you begin with the word well. I asked you something, well, what happened was, well, it indicates that he or she is about to give an answer that he or she knows that you expect him to ask. So I'm asking you a question. What time are you going to be at? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well always leads to some point, not always, but most times, depending on the situation, well leads to some type of deception. You're not going to, if I actually say, is it dark outside? Now, it's dark. Well, it looked like it almost dark, so now you can't even give a straight answer. You can't say yes or no. You just, when I went down to the corner and what had happened was, they told me this and they know. And I was thinking about it. I used to use that word all the time. Well, this and well, that. Mm-hmm. So that's detection of deception. Next, you don't have to believe me. When truthful people are asked why others should believe them, they typically answer because I'm telling the truth, or some type of variation of that. Mm-hmm. But then what happens when you really tell like a person say, well, you know what? You don't act like you believe me. I'm telling the truth. You act like you don't believe me. I don't know how many times that I've had, especially in relationships, when you're caught in a lie and you can't figure out a way out. So what you do, you act like you don't believe. Now say, well, I'm not going to even bother to tell you no, because you don't believe me no way. So now you already come to attitude because number one, you're lying and you say, I don't believe. Well, I don't believe because you're not telling the truth. So you come up with a way to try to wiggle out of what's going on. Mm-hmm. The question, why should I believe you, can be the question that throws people off. Why should I believe you telling the truth? Why you just can't answer my question? If I ask you where you've been, why you just can't answer? Because a lot of times we cannot figure out how to get out of a situation. There's no wiggle room. There's no way. So what we do, we'll say, well, you're not going to believe me anyway. And, so that's that. So you don't have to believe me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to beat you getting mad. And I'm going to go ahead on about my business. So, you have to be careful in your businesses and your ministry, how you deal with people. Again, I talk about integrity. You want to be a person of integrity. And I'm not even talking about the people you dealing with. I'm talking about you. How you respond, how you react. Be a person of your word. If you say you're going to do it. Because word of mouth a lot of times is greater than even the social media, because people say, oh girl, you need to go there. They're all right. I dealt with her. Like places to eat. Girl, you want to go eat there. That food is good. So that's so important. And finally, y'all, it's happenstance. The happenstance is due to a change. What had happened was, it just happened. You find out about something. Happenstance happenstance means you find out by a third party, or you may stumble across information by accident. You know, a person may not be as smart as they think they are. You may pick up a phone and see a name you didn't recognize. So happenstance means it happened due to change. I did not look for it. I did not expect it. But because of happenstance, I was able to find out. Now, I don't know about you. Have anybody on here happened to find out something by mistake? You wasn't looking for it, but you found out. Is there anyone that encountered that? Or either third party, or either somebody revealed something that to you that they didn't even know they was telling you, but it was a happenstance. And sometimes in life, happenstance happens. It could be a positive thing also. You can happen to run across somebody who will be a blessing to you. You may happen to run across somebody who will be who knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. We happen to me and Leonard happened to run into somebody in the store, and we got a wealth of information. So sometimes life is a happenstance, and it happens to the best of us. So it's not always what happened was. Sometimes happenstance means that it was due to a chance meeting. You just happen to run into somebody. So detection of deception, the land is where you don't have to believe, and finally, happenstance.
All righty.
Yes.
Oh, well, that was some deep stuff.
That was a lot of stuff.
So now that when we look back at this whole discussion tonight, everybody, one of the main things that stood out to me, you know, all the way from the beginning, dealing with Malcolm X and the movie, and the part that stuck out to me, which was when his faith and everything he believed in had been destroyed, when he found out that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wasn't living up to the standards that he had required of all of the men of the Muslim faith. And he had impregnated all these multiple women, and all of the lies and the things that were going on with the money, and how him and his wife were poor, and he was going all over the country helping build the Nation of Islam, and they were living like peasants. And when he woke up and realized that he had been himself, what he had been preaching, he had been hoodwinked and bamboozled, he was devastated. And, you know, as Annette has gone through and talked about how we, you know, we have a snowball effect with our lives, and we have, you know, she talked about the truth about lying and all the different colors and all of this stuff, and about how we can detect sometimes deception. We detect it. It's like, you know, somebody answering with, well, or, you know, what had happened was, or you don't have to believe me. All of those are signs. And I believe that a lot of times we have signs that there is a crack in the foundation. And when something happens, when the boom lowers, as we said in the beginning, that when we go through hypocrisy and lies and deception, knowing that lies is an intransitive verb, the lies are keeping you in the same place. You think you're growing and you think you're moving. Like Malcolm thought he was moving. He thought he was doing something. And his wife said, wake up. Look how we're living. We barely have clothes on our back. We barely can feed our children. And they're driving fancy cars and living in beautiful homes. And you're the one who's doing all the work. I need you to wake up and see what's going on around you. And it wasn't until he actually looked that he realized, I'm in the same place I was when I got out of prison. I haven't gone anywhere. I've built something based on something I believed, and now everything that I believe is a lie. And so therefore he was broken.
Wow.
Being forcibly separated into two or more pieces. So when I looked at this, I couldn't help but think of, there was a sermon that was preached by Bishop Curry a long time ago called Coming In on Broken Pieces. And he preached this sermon from the book of Acts when Paul was aboard a ship, and he was aboard a ship with prisoners and murderers, and it was because of him preaching. So he was on this ship, and he had actually even told them what was going to happen, and they didn't believe him. He had prophesied, and it was almost like one of those "I told you so" kind of things. Mm-hmm. So when I looked at that particular text and understand how you know, at the end when the ship hit something and it started to break into pieces, that he had told everybody to jump overboard, and those who could swim, swim, and those who couldn't just hold on to a broken piece until you come in. Everybody is going to live. And so I came to the conclusion that in life, we go through these situations, we go through the hypocrisy and the lies and the deception, and we come to a place that we are broken. But sometimes we need a break. And I broke that word down. Sometimes we need to be broken. And I know it sounds crazy, but I want you to stay with me, because when we look at this particular word, it means something. I want you to take a look at what happened with everything. And when we talk about in scripture, before Christ even fed the multitude, he broke bread and then he shared it. So it's when you are broken that you can be used, because that's when you start to really see what's there. There was a crack in the foundation. Everything, perhaps you put your faith and trust in man. You put your faith and trust in the actual church congregation and not Christ. You put your faith in the falsities of marriage and not the actual, and therefore so many things just flew over your head. There were probably signs and everything there, but you didn't see the signs. Perhaps you put your faith in a friendship and you knew, just like that picture down at the bottom, shaking the hand with the axe behind the back. You see the axe, but you think, oh, it's not really an axe. So you tell yourself the lie. It's not really a lie. So perhaps at this point in life, or wherever you felt, you know, like all of us who said, I've been there, perhaps you've been there, and having been there, you can see that it's the place where you were broken that you started to pick up the pieces and allow yourself to heal. Because when he said, with those who could swim, swim to shore, and those who can't, hold on to the broken pieces. Because I want you to understand something. Even though they jumped off the ship, there was still something for them to hold on to. Even though the ship broke, there was still something there, because amongst all of the rubble and all of the mess, there's still life. It's God who can speak to a valley of dry bones and say, live. So don't ever think that the situation has gotten beyond repair. Because when you're broken, you feel broken. You feel like you are in a million pieces. But I want to tell you that you may be broken, but not shattered. There's a big difference between
Yes.
There's a big difference between the two. Because when something is shattered, it is disintegrated. It is shattered beyond recognition. There is nothing left to put together because the pieces are too small. But when you're broken, you become separated forcibly into two or more pieces. So there is still hope. There's still hope when you're broken. And what you have to do is you have to grab onto the broken pieces of your life, because that's the stuff that when Christ broke bread, he broke you down. He broke you down so that you could keep moving forward, because what you had to do was to redefine the vessel. That you have a redefined vessel now. You may have been broken, but when you look at the word break, it means break, rebuild, endure, adapt, and keep. Yes, the vessel broke, but guess what? You came in on broken pieces, and therefore you can rebuild. And when you rebuild, the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one who endures. So you're broken, you rebuild, and you endure. And when you endure, you can adapt to the new vessel, and that new vessel will keep. Because now you understand hypocrisy, lies, and deception.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to not ignore the still small voice that tells you that person don't have your back. There's a song that says, break my heart so you can use me. Yes, I know that song very well. And trust me, I'm speaking this from a place of experience. I have been there. I have been broken to the point that I thought I was shattered.
Yeah.
I literally thought I was shattered. And it was when I heard that sermon, I didn't even hear the sermon in person. I heard the sermon on a tape coming in on Broken Pieces, and it literally had me weeping, because then it was then that I could see that when someone spoke over my life and said I would never do something and called me poison and all of these horrible things and literally tried to shatter me, I wasn't shattered. I was broken. Yes, I did break, but I rebuilt, I endured, I adapted, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
I am here for keeps. So that's what you have to do. I want you all to be encouraged today to understand that it's not over. It is only the beginning of a new beginning. I want you to type that in. It's not over, because it's not. It's not over. You have not reached the end of your story. I want everybody to just inhale, take a deep breath, and exhale. Take another deep breath and exhale. If you can still do that, there is so much left for you to do, which means that you need to get busy and stop feeling sorry for yourself and stop being angry about who woulda, coulda, shoulda, and what happened and who did what. Yes, you were hurt. Yes, you were broken. Yes, you were betrayed. Yes, you were misled. Yes, you were hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, led astray. Plymouth Rock didn't land on you. Didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on you. All of that, and then some. But at the end of the day, you are broken but not shattered, and you're a redefined vessel. And I want you to redefine your life and walk worthy and walk with your head high.
Mm-hmm.
Because it did not break you. It didn't end you. The hypocrisy, the lies, and the deception, yeah, it's there. It happens. So now you have it with a new mindset. Wow. Stacey said, yes, it's not the end. Broken for purpose. I like, you know what? And when I said, we used to say, we had this thing, I can't remember what it was. It was something on purpose, something for purpose. But when you said it, it reminded me, I'll put the tag in on it, Stacey, broken on purpose for purpose. It was living my life on purpose for purpose. That's what it was. Living my life on purpose for purpose. So sometimes we are broken on purpose for purpose. Yes. Because there's something bigger, and you have to see all of the good amongst the rubble. Grab onto the broken pieces, because there's a whole lot there in the broken pieces. Yes, there was a crack in the foundation from get-go, and it was not going to stand. Remember now, lies stands right in the middle of the hypocrisy and the deception, which means that neither one is going anywhere. You're literally walking around in circles or spinning tires on pavement like we talked about a couple of weeks ago. You're just literally going round and round in circles, but you're not going anywhere. So you have to let go of the cycle at some point. You have to let go of it and say, you know what? Not today. You will not have power over me today. You have to speak to that situation. You have to speak to that situation with firmness, because you're a redefined vessel. You're redefined, Ebony. You're redefined, LaShavia, Yolanda, Stacy, Sharon, Carrie, Annette. You're redefined.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have to walk in that redefinement. Woo! That was good. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling tonight? Does this help somebody tonight? Type it in. Let me tell me something. Somebody say, you helping me tonight, girl. You saying a lot, girl. Blessing me good. Hey, it's for you. Yolanda say 100. Ebony say yes, a confirmation for me. Because that, a lot of times, I know, and that we've been there. I mean, this is stuff like we say so often. We're not psychologists, we're lifeologists. And trust me when I tell you we live this.
Mm-hmm.
LaShavia say yes, much needed, then a rough one. Honey, there's a blessing on the other side of through. It's just the beginning. Don't let it get you. All righty, I'm going to stop this recording.